Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you absolutely everything you need to know about improving your click-through rate in Google Ads. I'm going to show you all of the techniques of writing ads and how to improve your ad account structure. But before we get into that, we do need to understand a little bit about why we should improve our click-through rate in the first place. And it all comes down to the fact that with a high click-through rate, Google makes more money. So I'm going to break that down for you. Let's say 100 people see your ad and they're searching chiropractor near me. And in this scenario, let's say we have a 5% click-through rate. So that means when 100 people see your ad, 5 people click. 5 divided by 100 gives you a 5% click-through rate. Now, let's say if these clicks are $5 each, Google in this scenario makes $25. Let's look at another scenario. So say 100 people searching chiropractor near me at a 10% click-through rate. So that means 10 people will have clicked that ad. And at the same $5 per click, Google in this scenario makes $50. So you can kind of see how increasing the click-through rate makes Google more money and why Google likes to incentivize a high click-through rate, because they make more money. So $25 versus $50. Now, Google actually rewards a high click-through rate because even if your cost per click is a little bit lower, as long as the click-through rate is high, they still make more money. So I'll show you that example. So same 100 people, we've got our good 10% click-through rate, and then 10 people click the ad. Even at $4 per click or even $3 per click, Google makes $40, which is more than the first scenario at a 5% click-through rate, $5 per click, 5 people clicking, where you make $25. So that's why we want to optimize our click-through rate, because it makes Google more money and Google gives us a lower cost per click over time, because they want to show your ad rather than your competitors if you have a high click-through rate. So let's dive into some real techniques you can implement to your ad account right now to improve your click-through rate. First up is what I'd like to call the specificity secret. And it's all about making sure that your ad account structure is set up correctly so that naturally you'll get a high click-through rate without even having to do anything super fancy with your ad copy. So let's look at an example of a good ad account structure. So here we have individual searches, and basically we want to map different search intents with different ad groups. If keywords are basically the same and they're looking for the same sort of service or same kind of intent, then you can group them together. But if you think the keywords are different enough that you'd like to write an ad that's more specific to different keywords, then it's a good idea to break them up. So this is an example of that. So we've got people searching for back pain chiro, chronic neck pain chiropractor, and chiropractor like location, like chiropractor Sydney, something like that. These are all different enough for me to put them in different ad groups, because I know that I'm going to write ads that are different for each of these keywords. So I'll show you an example. So here we've got an ad for chiro for carpal tunnel. So carpal tunnel pain, $37 new patient special. Back adjustment. It's kind of boring ad copy, but it's more relevant to the user. $37 new patient special. And then chiropractor in the location. Then we've got Brisbane CBD chiropractor, get our $37 new patient offer. So the ads aren't super different, but they are calling out the specific search that the user made, and thus the click-through rate's going to be a bit higher. So if you just have a generic ad for pretty much all of your keywords, then even if the ad copy is pretty good, you're kind of missing out on having this like extra specificity. So, just to show you two examples next to each other, this one has a 15% click-through rate, and this one has a 5% click-through rate, just because it's a bit more general. So we've got chiro for carpal tunnel. If I see an ad that says carpal tunnel pain, I'm like, oh, they maybe know how to exactly help me. The user's more likely to click on that ad. So that's tip number one. Try to put your ad groups together in such a way that you can be more specific in the ads that you write. Next up is you should be careful with your match types if you want to get a high click-through rate. So just really quickly going through the different Google match types. I'll go deeper into this in a different video, but you've got broad match, phrase match, and exact match. And it's basically how strict Google's keyword matching is. So in this example, the user's typing furniture store. And if we have broad match keywords, then the results that are coming up are like home decor, cream colored leather sectional. It's not super relevant to furniture store, but for exact match, we've got furniture store, home furnishing store. So if you can imagine that our ads are being triggered for a broad match keyword, when someone typed home decor and we're talking about a furniture store, then it's slightly less relevant, and we're probably less likely to click than if someone typed furniture store and we're advertising our furniture store. Awesome. So I want to show you an example of an ad account where this kind of went wrong, and just to give you an example. So this is for someone trying to find people who want to sell their car. So we've got keywords here like car dealerships, but the broad match search terms that we're getting are like sell my BMW, car shops, which is relevant, but like Rolls Royce or auto, what's the market value of my car, MJ Motors, which is like a competitor. So all of these terms are pretty not super specific to selling people's car. So that's why we've got a click-through rate overall of 2% across all of the keywords. Like even down here, we've got car dealers, the keyword, and we've got like Ford cars, GT86. So it's not really people looking to go to a car dealership, it's just random car names. So that's an example of why broad match can contribute to a low click-through rate, because it's just shooting really wide and you don't really have the specific searches that are gonna naturally get clicks for your ads. So there are some strategies where broad match can be good, but generally if you're starting your campaign, just start with phrase and exact match, or even just exact match, just to kind of dial in your click-through rate. And just to give you an example, when we kind of dialed in these phrase and exact match, our click-through rate has gone up to 15%. Still got some optimization to do. This has just been a couple of days, but yeah, that's kind of the difference changing your match type can make to your click-through rate. Cool, so that's pretty much it for how to change your ad account structure to get a higher click-through rate. Hopefully that kind of illustrates why it's important. Next up, I wanted to go into the ads and show you some really cool techniques to just make your ads pop off more and entice a higher click-through rate. Cool, so we're back into the ad account. In this instance, we're in an ad group called back adjustment. This is for the chiropractor example, which has a bunch of keywords which are all pretty much related to back adjustment. So that's kind of the ad we're writing at the moment. So you can kind of see need a back adjustment. It's kind of relevant to what we're talking about here. Now let's just look at some techniques we can do to really quickly improve your click-through rate. So the first one is to use symbols in your ads wherever possible. Sounds kind of random, but if you can include any dollar signs or any even weird symbols like at, I don't know how you could do that, but if you could, that would work. But yeah, just generally like you can say, even in the second one, you can see I'm saying Brisbane's #1 chiropractor. I'm using the hashtag symbol there to help it stand out a bit more. Yeah, and numbers and like percentages, like 20% off. These are all things that help your ad stand out more. So that's step number 1, is add some symbols. The next thing you can do is dynamic insertion, dynamic keyword insertion, and dynamic location insertion. So the way this works is you just have a new headline and you open up you press like this button. It's like a curly bracket, and then you can click keyword insertion or location insertion. So I'll show you keyword insertion, And basically the way this works is it takes the keywords that are in your ad group, so back adjustment for example, and it just places it in your headline. So you want to select title case so each of the words are capitalized, because obviously this is all undercase, and then make the default something. But yeah, what this will do is it will insert all your keywords where they can fit. Hopefully we can see an example. Yeah, back alignment near me. That's definitely a keyword. Yeah, back alignment near me. So that's this example of a headline is using this headline we just created here. So especially if you have a lot of different keywords, like there might be brand names, for example, basically instead of having to write 20 different headlines for each of the keywords, you can just instantly insert them into your ad. And the advantage of this is if someone typed that specific keyword, if they see it in the ad copy, then they're more likely to click because they're like, oh, that's what I typed, so I want that. It maybe doesn't look as fancy, but actually it does improve the click-through rate quite a lot. The next thing you can do is location insertion. Now, like 5 years ago, before this existed, it used to be really difficult and a massive pain to try and put all the different locations for all the different locations in the ads. Yeah, it was not fun. So, but now you can just do the same thing with the curly bracket and then go location insertion. And then, yeah, definitely try to click town and suburb unless you're doing like a international campaign. And then, yeah, just put the largest location kind of as like the backup. So if you're doing countrywide, you could put the country here. Or if the largest area is like a specific city, then you can put the city. So I'll put Brisbane. And then that will insert Brisbane. Or if it detects an even smaller locality, like a suburb, like Spring Hill, something like that, we can even probably see examples. I'll show you a little bit later. But yeah, it inserts the suburb, which like makes it super relevant, especially for like plumbers or really local businesses like that. Like you can see Carina is a suburb and I'm just typing a comma. So it's like, what? That doesn't make sense. But anyway, we can say the suburb's name, best chiropractor, for example. Hopefully that shows up. Local Carina chiropractor. I think I must have another, yeah, see, local, and then it inserted Carina chiropractor. And if I go back, maybe it shows forward. Yeah, but I think you get the idea. You can be really creative with how you put the location in the headline. So, you know, number one chiropractor, as I did up here, and then I had another one that I just wrote, yeah, best chiropractor. As long as it sort of fits within the headline, then yeah, it's totally a good option to put. For the rest of it, basically, you know, just put a bunch of call to actions, and like, you know, benefits of the service. The other thing to think about is trying to include an offer. So this is the offer in this example. New patients are only $37, and the bonus of that is we're putting a number in symbol as well. So I'll just go to a Google search and show you an example. Cool, so I just wanted to show you an example of a real Google search so we can kind of see how having an offer can help your ad stand out a little bit more. So in this example, the ad looks a bit weird, but we do see it saying new patient special offer. Obviously this would be better if it said, see if I can change it. Okay, so I just changed it to be a bit more of like a dramatic ad that I talked about with an offer. So here we've kind of got like a very generic ad which came up, and here's the one I just kind of rewrote for them. So yeah, Brisbane's number one chiropractor, and we can kind of see how between these two ads, which apart from the headline are very similar, that this new patient's only $37 only kind of really helps the ad stand out. So definitely try and include an offer. If you want some examples, if you're offering like a quote, then you can be like, get a free quote in 24 hours. just have a look around in your market and you can get some great ideas of offers. So hopefully that helped you write really effective ads. The last thing I just wanted to show you is ad assets. And just in case you don't know what those are, they're basically the extra things that get added to your ad aside from the headline and description. So like in desktop view, we've got these site links here. We've also got like a little bit of extra text at the end, and on mobile we get a call button, and we can also link it with the Google My Business listing. So basically the tip here is just to add as many of these things as you can. Click this plus button, go through image, site link, call out, call, structured snippet, and basically add as many as you can. What I like to do, particularly for the structured snippet, is instead of writing things like not the structured snippet, the site link, is instead of writing generic things like contact us or about us, I like to just put basically another headline, and I'll just show you the other things I've kind of said for the site links. I think that helps the click-through rate by, instead of just having contact us and about us, you have more call to actions basically. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully you can implement all these changes into your ad account and get a higher click-through rate. If you do get a higher click-through rate, let me know, or if you have any questions, put them down below and I'll try to help out. In the next video, I'll show you how to really quickly improve your landing page conversion rate with just one small change.